Welcome everyone to the SSG Podcast, where we have gaming news and discussion. We're back this week again. I'm Chris McSickface, and I'm your host. And I'm here with Mitch. How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
Oh man, I'm telling you, this last week has been a bit of a pain. I'm still sick. I came down. I think it was a cold last week of some sort. I think it's transitioning into bronchitis. I'm coughing a bunch. I probably sound like really disgusting on the microphone, but you know what? I didn't want to take two weeks off on this whole thing, so I said, screw it. We're gonna rock and roll.
Rock and roll roller coaster, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, featuring Aerosmith. So, So yeah, we're sorry that we ended up missing last week. I wanted to do last week, but at the same time, it's like you're going to be hearing me cough a lot, during this entire show, anyways. and with that being said, I might as well just go ahead and throw a cough drop in because, my gosh, this is going to be disgusting enough as it is, right?
Yeah, sure. Speaking of disgusting, though, I really like cough drops.
What flavor?
I like the Hall's cherry.
Yeah, I'm a cherry fan as well.
I mean, I can do honey, but cherry is just the flavor's so good.
Yeah, when I get sick, sick like this, and generally speaking, because I've got asthma, and whenever I get a cold, it generally turns into bronchitis. It always happens. And
yeah, me too, actually.
It's like once a year I will have bronchitis, without fail. Yep. It'll either be there in the springtime, when you're transitioning from winter into spring, or it'll be in the right now where we're transitioning from summer to fall. So, and during the wintertime I'm usually okay. But
yeah, I actually had that. Mine started as bronchitis and I flu back to back, and it was
that's terrible.
It was good. It was good times.
Good times on the couch and in the bed, but not like that in the bed.
Not in the sheets.
No,
on the sheets.
Well, you might have been in the sheets, but it just you're in pain.
Oh yeah, I definitely was for 4 days. I barely moved.
That's what the flu does to you, man. It cripples you. I've had the flu one time, and it was just literally 3 or 4 days. I was just I don't want to do anything. I hate that I exist right now.
The first time I ever got it was Christmas of 2013. It started off I didn't feel sick or anything. I just felt weak and my bones hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my mom, I was like, I don't feel right. I feel off. And then I slept all through Christmas. I was up for 40 minutes on Christmas Day.
you wake up. Hey guys, yeah, I'm still alive. Good night.
Yep, pretty much.
But yeah. So moving forward, though, we'll try to have episodes come out, frequently, depending on, how one or the other tends to feel. Because didn't you say last week you had food poisoning of some sort?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Pizza Hut.
Oh, yeah. See, that's weird. I've never personally experienced food poisoning from a pizza restaurant, but that sucks. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Thanks.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna kick it in to high gear as much as we possibly can. So, moving on to our. Where's this thing at? Where am I clicking around to? Our first little segment. You gotta get back in the swing of things, right? It's been so long again. And
it's true.
Gosh. All right. So recently released games. We have 2 weeks to cover. And honestly, there's a bunch of really cool stuff, but nothing super insane, I guess you could say. Nothing, okay, let's jump into it. August 14th, it's been out for 10 days now. Battle for Azeroth, the expansion set for World of Warcraft, came out. It actually has an 84 rating on Metacritic. I've heard some mixed views. excuse me, of the game or the expansion. Some people say the story feels kind of forced, like they're trying to send it back to like how like the whole Warcraft thing where it's the Alliance versus the Horde, and it's like that whole conflict is kind of forced. But the new additions to the game and stuff, I've heard it's pretty positive. I actually did have a subscription to World of Warcraft because I was playing it for a minute, but then I decided to give it up and cancel my subscription because I just don't have time for the game. What was that?
My phone.
What? Look, it seems like almost every episode now your phone does something.
Okay, that was partially my fault.
I mean, your phone's haunted, man.
That one was actually my fault. I was replying to a text. I was fixing to reply to a text. I got a message at the same time, and it was from a friend sending me a video of the Panthers game just now. And so it automatically played the video, and I was trying to exit out really quick, and it didn't work.
Oh, no. It's now captured, and everyone knows.
Don't sue me, NFL.
Gosh, man. You're getting in the way of the freaking segment, and you're over there texting and stuff, and it's like, gosh, come on. Get your head in the game.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Then now EA's going to be on our butts. Gosh. Come on. No.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I do too.
They don't pay attention to us.
Yet. Also, the Walking Dead, the final season, episode 1, was released on August 14th. For those of you that are into the Telltale series.
I want to be.
I've heard good things about the whole thing, but once again, it kind of comes down to just, I don't care for that type of gameplay.
I understand.
I've heard great things, but it's like I can just go watch a Let's Play of it if I really want to. Like, I don't feel like spending money on it.
I feel that.
I'm just going to touch on the things, Mitch, that kind of, that I know about. If there's anything on here that I don't touch on that you want to say something about, then by all means, like, jump in. But I'm like, for the rest of the games on this, that were released, there's very few that I really care too much about.
Yeah.
Shenmue 1 and 2 were actually released on PC. Or not PC, excuse me, PS4. Like,
This
what?
is weird, but cool.
I'm down for that. In fact, I may actually, when we get done with this podcast, I'm not going to say how much it is. Or I could actually take a look right now. No, I'm not going to be distracted. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I love the first one. The first one, I played it on the original Dreamcast way back when, and that was such a great game.
You were a Dreamcast guy, right?
Yeah, like that was the first console that I can't remember who bought that, if it were my parents or if it was me, but I was a massive Dreamcast fan. I had like the steering wheel, and I had the fishing game, I had 4 controllers, and I had like 3 VMUs and several other memory cards, and I had an emulator that you could play on the Dreamcast, and it would allow you to play like certain PlayStation 1 games on it.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it was really, really neat. But yeah, Shenmue. I think they're releasing that on PS4 to see if there's like, because I know Shenmue 3 is supposed to be like in like they're making it kind of a thing. Like it's still.
I think
being
they
worked
may
on.
have announced the release date. Pretty sure I saw it the other day.
But it might be to kind of test the waters a little bit to see, how interested people would be. Or maybe it's because it's going to be releasing on PS4. Like, the third one's going to be coming out soon, maybe on PS4. And they're releasing the first and second one so that you can play through the first and second one before the third one.
Okay, so a quick little update. Shenmue 1 and 2 that's out for PS4 is $30. $29.99. And Shenmue 3 did get an announced date a few days ago. It's August 27th, 2019.
Wow. Yeah,
So about a year away now.
Yeah, about a year and 3 days away. I'm awesome. Like that. I need to get the Shenmue 1 and 2. I want to play through those again. I never beat Shenmue 2. Because my interest in games was starting to kind of move on. But Shenmue 1 was just it's a bad game. And like, I say it's a bad game. It's one of those rare games that you either love it or you cannot stand it.
Gotcha.
There's really no one out there that's kind of like, I'm in between. Because it was a very ambitious game. It was also buggy. And it was also like the voice acting was terrible. But it was still fun. It was still good though. Like it's like a good like B movie, you know, where you're like, it's like did you ever see the King Arthur movie last year?
I did. I loved it.
I loved it too, but that's not really a good movie. You know, it's still it's a fun movie. I enjoyed the heck out of it, but it's not a movie that I would say, you know, like, you know, it doesn't exactly showcase the best things, the best parts of cinema, I guess you could say. It's just a good fun time, and Shenmue 1 is, in my opinion, it's a good fun time, and it's a really good story. The combat sucks. The controls are kind of weird. Like I said, the voice acting is very stiff. But there's a weird set of depth in this game. And it may not mean much to people like nowadays. Because open world games are, you know, it's the norm.
Yeah.
Shenmue 1 came out almost 20 years ago. In fact, I think it did come out 99. I think it came out in 99.
Okay, so 99.
But I'm saying it's almost 20 years old.
Right.
And what they were able to accomplish in that game, there's the music in the game, I think is fantastic. One of the best parts of the game is the music. It feels like a passion project, right? It's also, I think it's one of the most expensive video games ever made in history.
Still?
I mean, like, it's one of the most expensive, in history, yeah. At one point, like, at the time it came out, and probably for several years after the fact, it was the most expensive. But, I forget how many millions of dollars it cost. Like, it's insane. And then the game itself was just a very niche game. Like, people bought it, but it was like, you know, what can we do? Like, I don't know. It was a different time. It was a different time for gaming. I'd call it like an adventure game. You got some combat elements. You got some driving aspects. You can go play. There's an arcade, and I would get like lost in the arcade. Like there wasn't a ton in the arcade. You could play darts. And you could play, what's it, Outrun, I think, the Sega game, and I thought that was so cool, like the coolest thing in the world. Like, you would get like a daily allowance of like money, and I'd go spend all my money in the arcade. Or there'd be like little collectibles that you could get, like the little coin machines. So you go down to like the little thing that you put a quarter in, and you twist the thing, and it gives you a little, like a toy of some sort. Yeah, some sort. Wow, I just went like Boston all of a sudden. But it's like you could. There was collectibles in the game, so you could go and you could get these toys. You could. There was like tapes that you could find that was like for music in the game for like certain areas. You could go. There's like a raffle system, right, in the game. It's like you go and you're like, you draw a prize. You buy a certain thing, and you're like, oh well, you can draw, a prize out of the hat, kind of a thing. See if you win something. It felt like, at least for back there in that time, it felt like you were living your day, like living one day at a time in this world.
Right.
So it was really cool, really cool. I'm about to go look for that. Yeah.
Curiosity struck, and so I looked up how much it costs to develop it, and for Shenmue, it cost between $47 and $70 million to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
The highest I found so far was Star Wars: The Old Republic, which cost $200 million to make.
But that's an MMO. So they're making money through three different methods, or at least at one point they were. Because with the Old Republic, you originally had to buy the game, you had to buy the subscription, and then there's whatever people end up paying for in game, plus expansion packs that people buy, whatever, blah blah. For Shenmue though, you just bought the game. Whatever the price was back then, $49.99, whatever the price. Buy the game. That's it.
Your most expensive games to make are all Rockstar games. Your Red Dead, your GTAs, your Max Paynes.
Yep.
This isn't really expensive, but Warfare 2 cost $50 million to make, but they spent $200 million in marketing alone.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's 4 times what it cost to make. I guess it paid off because Modern Warfare 2 is one of the greatest games.
Yeah. But, anyways, I'm gonna move on from it because I could talk Shenmue like all day. Like, it's insane. The only other game of note, in my opinion, on the list, which Shenmue 1 and 2 came out on August 21st. On PC, there's a PC of Burnout Paradise Remastered that came out on August 21st as well.
Cool. I love that game.
Yeah, the freaking Burnout series. Why doesn't that make a return, right? Like, holy crap.
Who knows?
But those were the ones that I thought that were of note. I guess I could also just say Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr came out to middling reviews on, it looks like, PS4 and PC. Or maybe it just came out on PS4, I don't know. That came out on August 23rd, and Gone Home came out on the Switch on August 23rd.
Guacamelee 2 came out. They got pretty good reviews.
Yep, Guacamelee 2 came out on August 21st.
That's pretty much all there is to talk about.
Yeah, everything else, it looks like it's kind of an indie game of some sort. So if we ended up passing over something that you're like, oh, this is like one of the greatest games ever, then let us know about it. Complain to us about it, because then we would know you cared. Wait. Anyways, moving on. Oops. So, Mitch, something happened that we wanted to talk about last week, but we weren't able to. So, if you want to, follow up on some news that came up about our not best friend Philip,
I will happily do that.
Oh yes.
All right. So 2 weeks ago on the SSG podcast, Chris and I discussed the IGN situation with Philip Mewson.
Oh boy.
Where he plagiarized the Dead Cells review. Well, shortly before we recorded that episode, he posted an apology video, which is now taken down. He took it down, I think, after 4 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Because a lot of his old colleagues and just industry people reached out to him and was like, "Hey, this is a half-written apology. Even if you want to call this an apology, and you should absolutely take it down because this is not how you should address the situation." Because he never actually addressed that he did it. But let's be real. But the worst mistake, besides the plagiarism, was he told Jason Schreier of Kotaku, he challenged him to go find his other works to see if he had plagiarized. And Jason Schreier, being the amazing journalist that he is, totally did that and proved that his Nintendo review of FIFA 18 was plagiarized.
Mm-hmm.
As well as, it makes me laugh every time I think of this. He copied a LinkedIn resume from a job template, or for a job template.
Now, I want to say one thing, though, about that. My resume, I did borrow a template, but I filled in all the information with my own stuff.
Right.
So what you're saying, though, is that he, took this, pre-written nonsense from a template and passed that on as his own information?
He copied and pasted it.
Throw him out. Throw him out. Throw him out. Oh, no.
It's so bad.
How? I don't know. I guess, we work, I say we work, we're friends with people who, in my opinion, have some very good journalistic integrity.
Agreed.
And I'm just thinking to myself, it's not that hard to write a review.
It's not. It's
really not. If you put some hours into a game, and maybe you take notes while you're playing the game,
right?
And then you just come up with what you want. It's like I said. I think I said this 2 weeks ago, where it's like, if I'm going to write a review, I'm not gonna read what other people wrote.
Exactly, because I can sway your opinion.
Mm-hmm. I wrote, in my opinion, one of the best things I've ever written that was ever published was a review for the anime movie Your Name. That, in my opinion, was inspired writing, because I didn't need to see another person's review. I saw the film and I wrote what I felt. I wrote the emotion, and I don't know. I'm not aspiring to be a journalist, right? I'm not aspiring to write for IGN or to anything like that. I'm not even aspiring to be a writer, but to see someone, though, make it that far, and to be and to be copying other people's works, that's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And I'll be honest with you, all the places that this man has worked, the fact that they weren't able to do enough research themselves to see what this man was pushing out, as far as pushing out that he was saying was his own work.
Yeah, it's I guess I understand some of the plagiarism. You can't check every video, every review, but the Nintendo Life thing should have been like a red flag, because Nintendo Life's a pretty reputable source.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that hasn't come up until now. But the crazy thing is, if the YouTuber, it's Boomstick Gaming, correct?
I think it's Boomstick Gaming.
Okay. If I got that wrong, I apologize. If he hadn't got an early copy of the game and he wasn't the only review on YouTube, or possibly the internet, I believe he broke embargo by a week. But either way, if he hadn't done that, and then IGN wasn't the second one, there's a good chance that he would still be employed and continue to do this.
Look, this is the way I view it. It's not that hard.
You just tell us what you think about the game.
Unless IGN has imposed, it must be at least so many, letters long, or so many words long, kind of an article. And unless you're just if you're so crunched for time that you're having to copy and paste other people's work and pass it on as your own, then what are you doing? Cut back. You know what I mean?
I agree. I imagine IGN's on a tight schedule, but even then, even if it has a word thing, I'm sure they give you a reasonable amount of time to do it.
If you think about it, most video games, you have to spend a couple of hours playing.
Exactly.
If you're IGN, they're going to want you to get that review out either on the day that it's released, or maybe, whenever the embargo's lifted, essentially.
Exactly.
So, and usually you're given these, I would assume, I've never well, once again, I've never worked in the game industry, being a journalist. But I'm assuming you're given these review copies a couple days in advance. If
right,
anything.
some are weeks.
So you're at least able to spend some time playing this game and putting your thoughts into it.
Exactly.
Just have a little more organization, I guess, so that you don't have to come down the crunch time. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what his deal is. But it's... I don't know. Like, I say game reviews aren't that hard to write. It kind of depends on the game, I guess, how dense it is. Like, because I wrote a Warframe review that was a hard thing to write because there's a lot of stuff to Warframe. But I didn't go and copy someone else's review. I worked through it. You work through it and go, You have someone else read it. You have an editor. They read through it. They double check it, and then you keep working at it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, considering that Boomstick Gaming got it and posted it like a few weeks early, if not like a week early, that tells you that everyone had the game for at least a few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of time to play it and then give you your thoughts on it. Even then, because IGN will even do like a review in progress too. Like if it's not ready, they'll do a review in progress.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we don't know how things are behind the scenes at IGN. And nothing has come out saying that, it's like, it's a major crunch time when doing reviews out there. Yeah, everything just seems to be pointing, like, very, very negatively in this guy's favor. And, yeah, so. Don't let the door hit you on the butt.
So. Yeah.
So. That sucks. I mean, for him. But, learn to write, man.
It sucks for IGN too, because they actually have a lot of incredible talent there, and now this is going to fall in 2 years.
Do they have incredible talent? I mean,
yes.
I
don't go there.
I mean,
remember what happened last time you went there? You offended him. It was wrong.
No. I'm not defending anyone. I'm just saying IGN talent. What?
Yes.
I do remember there was a time period, and it's not so much anymore now, but IGN was kind of the laughing stock. It was IGN at one point was kind of how Polygon is right now.
IGN's like the biggest media website on the internet.
But I was saying, as far as like their credibility, I feel like it was like Polygon levels of, what?
I mean, sure, but they're reputable now.
Yeah, and people usually don't talk bad about IGN. I'm just going to move on from this now because I'm just lingering. It's the medication talking. So, anyways, we're going to move on to a fun little topic here. One that would be interesting. Or at least I thought it was interesting when I saw it. And as always, anything that we talk about, if there's an article for it that I could find, I'll link it in the description. So if you want to go and read it yourself and form your own opinion, because that's very important, right? Forming your own opinion. Don't let us,
Yes.
Don't let us influence you on your opinion. Think for yourself. Always think for yourself.
Yeah, don't be a sheep.
Yeah, don't be a Mitch. Anyways, I got jokes. So, a couple of days ago now, it's been about 2 days. We don't have to spend super long on this topic because I know not too many people are going to be super interested in it. But Nvidia announced their next generation of graphics cards, and they're called the RTX. Like, so you have and they're the 20 series. So it's RTX. I think they're starting at RTX 2060, RTX 2070, and there's an RTX 2080, and then an RTX 2080 Ti.
Right. It's basically the next step up because it was from GTX 1060, 1070, 1080.
Right. The interesting thing, though, and what I'm seeing a lot of complaints about with these cards coming out, is that the RTX 2080 Ti has a starting price of $1,200, and I think that's way too much. And I think Nvidia is kind of putting themselves into a bit of a hole because they think that because of the all the cryptocurrency people, they're data mining or mining for bitcoins essentially. They think that they will. Nvidia thinks they can dictate the price of the graphics cards, and I think that's going to backfire on them.
It should.
I just think $1,200 for a graphics card is way too much. I mean,
yeah, it is.
I don't care if it's top of the line. I don't care if it's the best of the best, so to speak. It's just way too. I'm thinking of. I'm actually, I'm planning on eventually building my own rig, and the entire computer is going to maybe cost that much money. Depending on
Mine's just over that much. So,
well, I was thinking initially I was thinking of just putting a GTX 1050 in it, but I was like, well, with these RTX cards coming out, if I actually start officially building next year, which is that's the way it's looking, because I'm saving my money up right now. It's looking like the GTX 1080 or even a 1080 Ti is going to be relatively cheap. Especially this time next year. So, what's the big deal, though? What's the big deal? RTX. What is this? What is this moving on? It's essentially, and this is where I'm going to say buyer beware, because it's the latest and the greatest, and a lot of people like to go and buy, whatever's brand spanking new just because it's new. Well, I'm going to say be careful with that, because the R in the RTX essentially is referring to ray tracing, which is the new technology that Nvidia has come out with that allows for their graphics cards to be as powerful as they are. Now, I don't know the full details. I'm not exactly knowledgeable on the entirety of the technology. As far as very specific specs, because Nvidia has not released the actual clock speeds, I don't think.
Yeah, they haven't released anything except for the release date and the names and the designs.
Yeah. And the big kicker, though, is that this card is technically there's things called CUDA cores, and that kind of determines a little bit of how powerful of a card it is. I think it was the RTX 2080 has less CUDA cores than the GTX 1080.
Interesting.
And a lot of that's based off of this whole ray tracing technology. Nvidia is trying to change the market. The CUDA cores are for games that are coming out right now. The higher the CUDA cores in a graphics card, the better it'll be. And there's a problem that games that come out now and potentially for the next year until this new technology is adopted by developers, more so, you're only going to have a handful of games that support the ray tracing, which is like Battlefield 5 was the big one that they showcased, and it looks beautiful. But that may be one of, like I said, 5 games that support this ray tracing technology, while every other game that comes out isn't going to require it, and it would technically then your graphics card, your graphics would run lower than, or be less power, wouldn't be as powerful as, the GTX 1080. Am I making any sense?
Yeah. It's basically just like early adopting a console.
Yeah.
Like when you first buy a console, there's not going to be that many games out for it. But if you just wait on it, the support will come.
Right. Unless it's the Wii U. Or PS Vita. I'm just saying, be careful when it comes to this card. You can pre-order them right now, but I see no purpose in spending, $1,000 to $1,200 on a graphics card we don't have enough information on to. I don't feel comfortable spending that much money on a graphics card altogether in general.
That's crazy.
But you don't have a lot of detailed specs, and this is brand new technology. One of two things is going to happen, right? Either you're not going to have enough support, or something's going to, as far as games. So you're not the games that come out aren't going to be able to take advantage of the technology,
right?
Or you'll have something go wrong, and the graphics card, maybe they'll have to do. I don't know. Maybe something will happen. So when it comes to these new generations of hardware, just wait it out. You know what I mean? When they announce the new iPhone, you don't have to be one of the first to buy it.
I disagree with that.
I think that's a smart thing to do, and especially with even video games. It's smart to wait until the game comes out and see what the reviews are. What are people saying about it?
Well, I'm just saying for iPhones. iPhones are great. Fight me.
You make me sick.
Good.
And I'm already sick. So now
Good.
I'm double sick now.
Suck it. iPhone's the best.
We're actually all losers when it comes to...
It's true.
Because
we're all slaves to our phones.
We're slaves to our phones. We're stuck in a cycle of having to pay, hundreds of dollars every year or every other year to continue to be able to use this device that's just going to become obsolete within the next few years.
As I sit here and type on my iPhone X.
I mean, I still use a Galaxy S7, so...
Are you going to upgrade soon?
I'm still locked into a little payment plan thing. I got 2 more months before I can technically upgrade. But yeah, I'm considering it. I'm probably going to go to maybe the Note 9.
That's the big tablet one, right?
Yeah.
You like big phones?
Yeah, because I got big hands, and I don't know. I also like watching. I watch a lot of videos on my phone, so yeah, I kind of like having a big phone. I want a tablet, and yes, I would get a freaking iPad if they weren't $1,500.
$1,500? What?
There's that's the iPad Pro or whatever, but a regular iPad is still $1,000.
Where are you seeing that at? Only $300.
They're not $300.
Yeah.
On Apple's official website.
I don't use Apple's official website. You can go to Best Buy and get one.
Yeah, but it's going to be freaking last year's model, or it's going to be Well, no. What the reason what's wrong with that is because generally speaking, when it comes to Apple devices, they make them obsolete very fast. You go to get.
Here you go on BestBuy.com. The latest model of the iPad is 800. It's 128 gigabytes and it's $400.
Ooh, $400. Woo.
That's a lot better than 1,000 wherever you pulled that number from.
Yeah, I think I swear that was. Let me see what was that? I'm getting sidetracked now. This is dangerous.
On Apple's website, I went to iPad Pro. If you get the 12.9 display, it's only $800 new.
Okay, iPads are cheaper than I thought.
Yeah, they're not too bad. I mean, they're expensive, but they're not as bad as you thought.
No, that's the MacBooks.
Yeah, MacBooks are crazy expensive.
Still, though, $650. See, I can't justify spending that much for a tablet that at this point in time, where all I would really do is just watch YouTube on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, okay, so what I really want a tablet for is reading comics, because digital comics are just easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, a 32 gigabyte's only $300. That's not bad at all. The only thing I would be doing on it would be reading comics. I wouldn't really be doing anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe watching videos, but you don't download videos anymore because it's not 2008.
Or maybe stream something off Netflix or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that. But, like I said, I use my phone for... I'm waiting for that to happen on the Switch, by the way. I'm waiting for the Switch to get, like, a freaking YouTube app.
You got Hulu, right?
Yeah, they got Hulu, that's it. That's all that I've seen.
Bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a missed opportunity. I'm surprised it's taken this long to even...
Well,
I'm surprised they don't have it.
Well,
it's crazy.
They may be waiting because their their online service starts up next month.
That's true, yeah.
So they might be waiting for something like that.
Yep.
Which, when the Switch comes out like that, I'm going to go strictly to probably like Nintendo all the time.
Like you're just gonna cut the cord on PlayStation?
Yeah, probably officially, because I can't pay for both.
Really?
Yeah, I got to do one or the other. Like
Nintendo's only $20.
Only $20?
Yeah.
Okay, the way I'm looking at it is, it's was it $15 a month for PlayStation?
15. Where are you buying your things from?
Or is it $10 a month? What is it? How much is it?
It's 10.
It's 10?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, $10
Might
a
as well
month.
just buy a year though. It's only $60.
Well, I did have a year bought before, but then I was on the fence of whether or not I wanted to continue with the subscription service, because my uncle was the main person I was playing games with a lot. Him and I played a bunch of Ark, and we were going to be playing a bunch of No Man's Sky once Next came out, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get Xbox because I wasn't playing all that much," and then he jumped ship over to Xbox, and I'm just like, "Well,
wow."
So like, one of the few people that I actually played a lot of games with, which he had his reasons. He moved over to Xbox because he had a bunch of coworkers who had Xboxes.
Yeah, I understand.
So like, I can't like be mad at him for it, kind of a thing. It's like, to him it was like, well, I can go and play with about 4 other people, who are also interested in Ark, and he's looking at me like, and you look like you don't, you're not even interested in playing online anymore. And I was like, yeah. So, so I'm thinking of at least giving Nintendo a shot for a little bit and seeing how things go with that. I mean, I just don't want to keep up both, because I don't know. I don't see the point in it right now.
I don't blame you.
But anyways, so technology, guys, be careful what you buy.
A little off topic.
It happens, right? That's the whole purpose of this podcast. I mean, we have topics, we have things we like to discuss. We bring things to the show so we can, seem like we're, I don't know, smart or something. But for the most part, we're stupid, and we're gonna ramble on like crazily.
Exactly.
So before we get into some, I guess the big thing, I wanted to touch on a couple of things that we missed from last week. That we didn't really get to talk. I'm not saying so much that we should discuss these, but these are just like kind of some big news things. If anyone was really big into emulation with games, ROMs and ISOs and all that kind of stuff, you probably know this already, but at Emu Paradise, they removed all their ROMs and ISOs. Potentially it was to avoid a lawsuit with Nintendo, because Nintendo is going around slapping those lawsuits on those websites for that stuff. But if anyone is really into doing like emulation, you probably have a better site that you go to anyways.
Yeah.
there's some communities out there that are locked, and it's hard to get into. I was in one of those for a minute, and in order for you to download stuff, you have to upload stuff.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're very strict about it. They're not going to give you freebies. So, yeah, that was a bummer, but I don't blame them in the least bit. I'm glad I've got all the ROMs that I've got. I pretty much have everything I could ever really want. Personally, I have a little.
If you hear sirens in this episode, you know where Chris is.
Oh no! This was stuff that was collected from like years ago.
Yeah.
And most of the games are they're probably somewhere around 20 years old. So, 20 to even we're talking anywhere from Atari 2600 games up to maybe some N64 games. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've got my little RetroPie, I got a Raspberry Pi that I actually set up as a little arcade system, and it's not 100% finished because I'm the kind of person where it's like if I start a project, I'm usually really into it, and then I get burnt out, and I really don't go back to it. But I've got it inside a little. I put it in a case, and it's like a little Super Nintendo. It's like a mini Super Nintendo.
Awesome.
So, next on this list here, the PlayStation VR reached 3 million units sold. This was like 2 weeks ago. Anyone use PlayStation VR?
Did you say that I use it?
No, I said does anyone use PlayStation VR?
Apparently 3 million people do.
I don't think that's a big. That's such a small number. In all honesty, I think the Virtual Boy sold more than that.
You got to remember that's just like. Let me see if I can think of the word.
I still think it. Yeah, it's yeah, I know it's a difference.
It was such an expensive piece of hardware for an expensive piece of hardware that you didn't need to game. It was just so extra. Like when it launched, it was what $400, $500.
Yeah, but Mitch, they've dropped the price down to like $300.
It's cheaper than that now. I think it's even $200.
It's somewhere close. I don't know. I just don't see the purpose in having a PlayStation VR at this point. It's more niche it's more gimmicky than 3D. There's some cool stuff you can do with it, but I don't know. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's too gimmicky. I mean, VR in general is I think it's a few years away, but when it's actually here, it's going to be awesome.
Well, yeah. We're going to have stuff. It's going to be like the HoloLens or something like that for Microsoft. Which, if you don't know what the HoloLens is, then just Google that. Just give it a Google.
Yeah, PSVR is now $200.
So that's still like $300 too expensive.
If it launched $200, I would have been all over that just for Resident Evil 7 alone.
Another little thing I wanted to touch on, the Switch is reportedly getting a port, or at least this was, like I said, this was 2 weeks ago. This may have been confirmed now. I should have actually looked into that. Whoops. But new Super Mario Brothers U with the new Super Luigi U DLC, that is coming to the Switch. Not surprised. They're probably going to be porting a bunch of games to the Switch because that's just what Nintendo tends to do nowadays. You'll have the Hyper HD remake of like Wind Waker or something ported to the Switch.
Yeah, I won't be mad about it though.
And that's the thing. People are usually never mad when Nintendo goes and doubles and triple and quadruple dips into their libraries. Like I would be totally.
Some of them are timeless though.
Well, I would totally be down for like the Metroid Prime series to be like remastered onto the Switch.
Yep. I wouldn't be mad if they put Twilight Princess on the Switch either, so I would play that again.
But I would be mad if they put Skyward Sword on the Switch.
Really?
Get that junk out of here.
So Diablo 3 will run at 60 frames per second across the board on Switch, and it will run at 720p in handheld mode.
Yeah, Diablo 3 is coming out for the Switch too, which we're kind of doing that in reverse now. But
I thought you already said that. I'm sorry.
No, I did not. And there's actually a pre-order bonus. If you pre-order Diablo 3 for the Switch, you get Ganondorf armor.
Yeah, you do, and that's awesome.
You get a couple of other things as well, but the big selling point is the Ganondorf armor.
So, I bought Diablo 3 at launch, and I ran it on a crappy laptop from it was the same year that Diablo was released, like 2012?
Yeah, it was around then, yeah.
It ran pretty good, but I didn't have any friends to play with. I never played a Diablo game before that, so it was kind of weird. I played a lot of it, but I never finished it. And then I got a port for PS4, played with a few friends, but every time we got a few hours in, one of the guys we were playing with complained so much about wanting to change characters that we all just were like, "This is dumb. Let's not play this anymore."
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to give Diablo 3 another chance on Switch.
I have put several hours into both the PC and PS4 versions of this game. I think I've talked about it on the show before. I put at least 100 hours into one character. That's not counting the other characters I played on PC. In fact, this desktop that I'm recording on was built specifically so that I could play Diablo. Well, no, I actually take it back. It was originally built so I could play World of Warcraft at a decent frames per second. But it was also meant for Diablo 3 when that came out. And then, when the PS4 version came out, I said heck yes, because it came with both DLCs. The
Reaper of Souls
and the Rise of the Necromancer. And yeah, that essentially the Diablo 3 version of the Switch is going to be called like the Eternal Edition or something like that. There's not going to be a ton of new stuff, unfortunately, added to the game. I wish there was, but I am willing to. I am one of those crazy people who's willing to put down another $60 for another version of Diablo 3 because it would be on the Switch, because I think it'd be fun. So
yeah, this was awesome.
And then the fact that it will actually run at a locked 60 frames per second in docked and portable mode. What the heck?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, wow. We'll have to see if it's a true 60 frames per second. But then again, the freaking Switch should be able to run this game.
Yeah, for sure.
At 60 frames per second, because this game is a 6-year-old game. So
yeah, exactly.
It's like, Skyrim should be running at freaking 60 frames per second, because Skyrim's been out for just as long. But that's neither here nor there.
Speaking of repackaged bundles, this wasn't on the list because it just came out like 2 or 3 days ago. Dark Souls Trilogy is getting a release, which is just Dark Souls first one, the remastered version. It just got released in May.
No, they pushed that. It didn't release in May. They pushed it.
No, that was for Switch. It got pushed.
Oh, okay.
But Xbox, PC, and PlayStation 4 got it in May.
Gotcha.
The Switch date got announced as the same date as this collection. Which is October 19th this year.
Right. But
the trilogy includes the 1, 2, and 3. The first one remastered, Dark Souls 3, into all DLCs. And it comes in a really, really cool steelbook case. The price of it is $80, which is totally fair because the remastered of Dark Souls 1 is $40, and then Dark Souls 2 and 3 are both $20. And you get all the DLCs, so it's awesome. Plus you get a steelbook, and it's awesome. I said awesome a lot, but it's awesome. No,
I think that is a really, like, you know what? If I had the money myself right now, that's something I would totally go for. Because I've been telling people that I will play Dark Souls on the Switch.
Well, if you have an Amazon, I'm assuming everyone in the world has an Amazon account. It's free. But pre-ordering on Amazon, you don't pay for it until it ships. So, like, if something comes out, like, for instance, as soon as this was released, I went and pre-ordered it. I don't have to pay for it until it ships, which is, like, a few days before it actually comes out.
Right.
But you have to be careful and remember that you have it pre-ordered. But I never pre-ordered anything so fast in my life.
You know,
I love Steelbooks and I love Dark Souls.
You know, this would be a great time for if I actually had a freaking credit card or something like that. Because then, if I would pre-order with the credit card, so then as soon as the game would come out, right, like it would boom, it would hit on my credit card and would hit on my debit card, you know, and then I would know, okay, this game came out, and then I got to pay, you know, a little bit at a time to pay it off on my credit card. I don't know. That just sounds like a smarter idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Why don't I get a credit card?
I wanted to throw that in because Dark Souls deserves more love.
Man, this is about to be a busy week for this, like a busy time for the Switch. Holy crap baskets! I'm trying to find that Dark Souls thing.
What you mean?
The Steelbook thing.
Oh, just type in Dark Souls Trilogy on Amazon and it should pop up.
I was hoping it would actually just pop up on its own. I'm lazy.
I mean, you could just use that text to talk or talk to text or whatever it's called.
Boo.
Yeah, so it's if you just type in Dark Souls Trilogy on Amazon, it doesn't look like the Steelbook because it has like one of those like slip covers.
Yeah.
But you can just scroll over and see it. $80, that's not bad at all.
Dude, where is this thing? You think they'd have it like on the freaking front page or something like that? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm seeing all this stuff now and I'm like, I gotta buy all this stuff.
Yeah, that's
oh my gosh.
The downfall of Amazon.
Oh. Let's see. Dark Cells.
Dark Cells.
Why are they not? Why they ain't showing it?
I don't know.
Seriously, I'm looking under the Nintendo Switch and video games, and there's like nothing about it.
Oh, it's the trilogy's not for Switch.
Oh, it's not for.
No. Sorry, I should have clarified. It's only for Xbox and PlayStation.
I can't do that then because I said I was going to get it for Switch, so I guess I'm just getting.
Yeah, you can still just get the first one for Switch.
That's so cheap. I'm so angry. Rawr. Yeah, I'm looking right now. So you get
Rawr.
Rawr. So we have Dark Souls Remastered that's going to be coming out, and then we got Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which yeah boy, I'm getting up on that. Then you got Super Mario Party, yeah boy, getting up on that. Mega Man 11, yeah, and then you got Diablo 3, and then a game that's already out that I want to buy that I've not gotten yet, but Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
Too bad none of that's going to matter because Red Dead's in October.
And too bad that game's not going to matter because Smash Brothers Ultimate is in December.
You'd already be done with Red Dead by then.
No, I wouldn't be done with Red Dead by then.
I'll be done with Red Dead by then.
Alright. This is not doing well for my wallet because I'm not supposed to spend a ton of money on games right now. And I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm like, yeah. You have all these games. Pick one. What would you pick, Mitch?
Out of those games you listed?
Yeah.
I'll probably get Diablo, but I don't know if I'll get it at launch. Is there a release date for Diablo 3?
December 21st.
Ooh, that's... Yeah, I'm not going to have time to Smash.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably get it in January. I don't know anything that comes out in January except for Glass, but that's a movie.
So just to kind of clarify a little bit, the Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, which is what they're calling it, you get the Legend of Ganondorf Transmog, which is essentially its armor. So you can change whatever armor you're wearing at the time. You can transmogrify it, whatever, and you can make your armor look like that. So essentially, you make yourself like Ganondorf.
So it's basically just a skin on armor.
Yeah, it's a skin. Essentially, that's what it is. It's a skin.
Okay, so that makes me extremely happy.
Golden Triforce portrait frame. That's kind of a cool thing. So like, their portrait frames are kind of a big deal in the game. So the more, like, the higher your levels are, kind of a thing, because you can go beyond level 70. You have Paragon levels, and there's, like, thousands of Paragon levels. They also affect your character. So, just not as much as a normal level. It's, I don't know if you, I probably just lost you. But the higher your level, your little portrait will change to kind of dictate, like, how long you've been playing, kind of a thing. Right. And you can also get new portraits from, like, doing certain challenges, in the game and whatnot.
Right.
So yeah, that looks really cool because it's got like the little, it's got the Triforce and then the little, I don't even know what they call it, but it's like the, it looks like wings, the little winged kind of a logo thing like under the Triforce.
Yeah.
It's got that, and then it's got some other stuff around it. It looks really nice. You get Echoes of the Mask wings, so it's another little cosmetic kind of a thing. I don't know what the Echoes of the Mask, I don't know what that means. You would think like Majora's Mask, but it's not. I don't know. Or maybe it is a Majora's Mask thing, and I'm just like not paying attention to it too well. And you get a Kuko, a companion. So Kuko will follow you around as like a little pet.
So I'm wondering if you're going to be able to play with friends online, or if it's going to be local multiplayer only.
No, you'll be able to play with friends online.
Okay, good.
Like,
if it was only local,
you could do both. You could do both. Like on the PlayStation version, you can do both. Like if someone wants to come over and play, I could do that. But for the most part, I've played online. There's going to be multiplayer.
Good.
Yeah, Smash Brothers would be my choice. I'm smashing it.
For sure.
Smash.
I actually don't think I'll buy that many games this year, as in like towards fall.
Yeah.
Well, for right now, 2 weeks from now, Spider-Man comes out. That'll occupy me for a few weeks until probably Red Dead. And then Red Dead's probably going to consume the rest of my free time for probably a month.
I'm having just to hold my money until Smash, because I got other adult important things I have to spend money on, unfortunately. So I have to kind of go, well, what's important? So I have told, I've pretty much told, my girlfriend, Smash Brothers Ultimate, that is the one game I want to get, one game I'm going to buy, and everything else, we'll see what happens.
You should have just asked for that as a Christmas present, then bought something else.
Do what?
So you should have just asked for that as a Christmas present and then bought something else.
No, because what I could do is I could get Smash, because I know that's a game I'm gonna want to play that day one. I know I'm gonna want to play that day one. Something like Monster Hunter or Super Mario Party would be a great Christmas present kind of thing.
Feel ya. Would you play Mario Party without friends though?
Well, that's the thing. I usually go over to my girlfriend's parents' house and stuff, and we usually me, her, and her sister, and we usually play Mario Kart a lot. And I think that'd be awesome to be able to have another party game. So
I wish I had people to play with that.
I'm the guy. Well, the thing is, though, you'd probably be able to play this online.
That'd be so fun. Just hop on Discord or something.
Yeah, we get Ryan and all them, and we just jump on, and we're just like, haha. Oh, I played Mario Kart with him and some of their friends one night. That was fun.
I'm sad that I missed that. And Splatoon nights.
We need to become more organized and have Splatoon nights, legitimate, Thursday night. That's Splatoon night or whatever. Or
with us being off on weekends and being off around the same time now, it would probably work a lot better.
Yeah, we'll have to see what we can plan. We'll have to discuss that. But all right, I want to move on to the last little bit that we have here, because
the big chopper.
There is a discussion that I want to eventually have, but we'll have to table that maybe till next week or something.
Okay, that works.
Excuse me. I'm sorry for all the coughing, guys. It's I hate this. I hate feeling the way that I feel. I did warn them. I did warn every single one of you. So if you're complaining at this point, get out. No, seriously, keep listening.
If you're still listening at this point, keep listening.
Please? So, a big thing happened recently. Big thing came out. And I gotta find my article. Yeah. So, there has been rumors that Microsoft is going to come out with an all-access plan for Xbox. So what would this be like? Well, according to this article on Tom's Hardware, which I think is a kind of reliable source when it comes to hardware stuff. I don't know. I like them.
I agree.
They're actually quoting an article from Windows Central that says that the Xbox All Access will be a subscription, and it will include an Xbox One S, Xbox Live, and Xbox Game Pass for roughly $22 per month. Upping the cost to around $35 will net an Xbox One X instead, with the Xbox Live and Game Pass as well. It says this doesn't appear to be a regular monthly subscription, though, so you can't pay $22 to get all the perks for a single game and then cancel when you're done. Microsoft is expected to require a 2-year commitment. So this is big. This is big news.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, and then the article continues to say that the setup makes Xbox All Access seem more like it's copying the cell phone model than ordinary subscriptions. And that's the truth, because right now, what can you do? You can go. Oh, sorry about that. You can go and say you want a cell phone plan. Well, that costs a per month thing. But you can also go get a phone, and you can get an iPhone X, or you can get a Samsung Galaxy S9, and you don't have to pay the hundreds to thousands of dollars up front. You could simply be locked into a 30-month, roughly 30-month, more or less, because I know you can go longer and you can go shorter for depending on your carrier. And you get the phone, but you're paying on that phone for that time period. This seems like this seems to be something similar to what Microsoft is wanting to do. So, Mitch, if Xbox came out with an all-access plan, now I know you have an Xbox One already, correct?
Yeah, I have the S.
But what if they came out and said, hey, if you pay us $35 a month for 2 years, now you could probably pay more than the $35 and pay off on that Xbox faster. But if they said for $35 a month, you got to lock in for 2 years, would you do that to get an Xbox One X?
Yeah, absolutely I would.
Because at that point, paying $10, you pay $10 a month on your PlayStation subscription. It's $10 a month, I'm assuming, for Xbox Live.
Yeah, it is. They're the same pricing now. It's $10 for 1 month, $25 for 3, and then $60
for a year. But I'm saying that sounds like a really good deal.
Yeah, because Game Pass is expanding massively.
Mm-hmm.
They just added Doom and I forget the other one they added the other day, but It was after QuakeCon that they showed Doom Eternal. They announced that Doom was coming to the Game Pass, which already has a huge, vast library.
Yeah, so you don't even have to buy a game. You've got the Game Pass. You can play. Boom, there you go. You're set.
And Xbox games come to Game Pass that day, and you'll still get to play like a few days early too.
Yep. So you get new games. You can play old games. You can play 360 games because I know that they put retro games on that as well.
They do.
For $35.
It's not bad.
Now, you compare this to the freaking EA thing, that EA Origins Premiere that we talked about a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
This is better than that thing. Because you're getting the hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, where do I sign up? Like, shut up and take my money. Like, I would totally be down with this. Because I'm the kind of person, personally, I don't like paying for everything up front. It's easy for me to pay on a monthly basis to break it up, right? Than to go ahead and say, well, here's just straight up $300, because honestly, I've been terrible when it comes to saving money, and it just works better that way for me anyways. So, yeah.
Plus the the Xbox One X is almost $500, if not $500.
Yeah, it says here that what they did is they actually added the totals of the Xbox One S with a 1 terabyte storage. They said that runs around $300. 2 years of Xbox Live costs $120, and 24 months of Xbox Game Pass comes up to $240 for a grand total of $660. Is you can buy a year of Xbox Live Access, and the Xbox Game Pass is monthly. It says the cost through Xbox All Access at $22 per month for 24 months would be $528. So it would be less. Although they say they have a note here saying, however, Microsoft could offer a console with less storage. So you may be getting an Xbox One S, but it may only have like 250 gigabytes of storage.
That's not even close to enough.
I mean, I would agree with that, but maybe they offer the terabyte, you know?
Yeah, I believe my S is only 500 gigs.
It says continuing with this article, it says those figures check out for the Xbox One X as well. With 1 terabyte storage, it costs about $500. So when you add in the access to Xbox Live and Xbox Game Pass, the complete package would be $860. Mm-hmm. That doesn't compare as favorably, as you're only saving about $20 with Xbox All Access, but it's still a bit cheaper. And also, you're not having to pay for everything up front.
Yeah.
I have every intention in the world of staying on that 2-year plan because I want that system. And if I can pay more, to take time off that plan, then I would. So, like, if it's $35 a month and that includes the cost of the console, and if after 6 months of me being on the plan, I then go, well, I just want to pay $50 a month so that it goes more towards that getting the console paid off. So then the last year that you're locked in, you're just paying for the Xbox Live and the Game Pass. I don't know how they'll break that down. I hope they allow that though.
Yeah.
Because with cell phones right now, you can do that. If you want to pay more than what the minimum monthly amount is, and it's like that with almost any kind of bill that you have, any kind of loan that you have. I have a car payment. I'm paying a little bit more than what my actual car payment is. Because
it beats interest.
Yeah, because I'm trying to back down the interest. That would be a cool thing. I think this is a kind of a. I'll be honest with you, and I actually tweeted this out that I was responding to someone. I think it was the Colin Moriarty or whatever his name is.
Moriarty.
Yeah. I said that this is a fantastic. Because he was stating that it was a fantastic PR move for Microsoft, and I agreed. You know, this and like cross-platforming that Microsoft is allowed on their system is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I think we're starting to see a bit of a shift in popularity.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because Sony doesn't want to allow cross-platforming.
Sony's starting to become the old Sony.
Very much.
And Xbox is becoming the old Xbox.
Yeah.
Xbox is definitely turning more consumer-friendly.
Yeah.
Game Pass Live is better than PlayStation Network, even if it's slightly.
I think the deals on PlayStation Network right now are still good.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know what Xbox has, because guess what? I've not dealt with Xbox Live or Xbox in general, in a long time. So
Xbox the last few years have, like this E3, they blew me away because they came out and they were like, "Hey, we know you want games to play on your Xbox that you can't play anywhere else."
Right.
That's why they acquired like 5 to 8 new studios to create first-party games for them, which is why everyone was praising Sony a few years back, because they came out and they were like, "Hey, here's a ton of games that you can't play anywhere else."
Yeah.
Which is why there's always competition. For a while, there really wasn't competition.
Well, that's what Xbox and PlayStation need, though. They need the competition. They need the exclusives in order to make it worthwhile to play on the systems.
Exactly. That's why PlayStation was striving, because they were coming out with everything that gamers actually wanted, while Xbox came out of the gate with like, "Hey, here's some sports and some TV." And man, that announcement really hurt them.
But
Do you remember that?
Yes, like for the original Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to make this a all-purpose multimedia console. I'm like, it's a video game console.
Make video games.
Make video games first, do everything else second.
If I wanted a cable box, I'd have a cable box.
If I wanted DirecTV, I'd have DirecTV.
But yeah, Xbox is Phil Spencer's phenomenal, and he's getting Xbox Xbox back on track, which is great. Competition is great.
Well, and also it says right here at the end of this article that the company seems to have buddied up with Nintendo. That's fantastic.
What, the access?
Well, because of the crossplay, you can play if you're playing Fortnite on the Switch. You can play against people who are on Xbox.
Exactly.
That's a step. That's a step in a great. I think you can do the same with Rocket League.
Yeah, Rocket League. You can pretty much play with anyone except for Xbox to PlayStation.
Yep.
PlayStation can play with PC and Switch players can play with anyone. You just can't, if you're Xbox and PlayStation, you just can't play with those two brands, basically.
Yeah.
Which is sad. We'll get there eventually, but
I think the winner out of all this, though, is Nintendo.
Yep.
Because
Switch is killing it.
Mm-hmm. So I think we'll actually call it there, because I don't want to get too far into talking about the Switch. And I think that'll be a teaser for next week. There's something I want you guys to kind of sit on and ponder, and you too, Mitch. This is the big thing here, because I don't want us to have this discussion quite yet. Like I said, this will be for next week. Has the Switch become the hardcore console of choice now? That's an interesting question.
Answer.
I know.
I'll save it for next.
Oh yeah. That's something I want all you guys to think about here for a second, because where the Switch currently is, the type of system that it is, the popularity of it, the ports that we're getting for this console. Now, granted, yeah, a lot of them are older games that have been out on console or PC for the longest time, but does this mean that, though, with these games coming out, is it time to start looking at the Switch as, the hardcore console of choice? So, let you guys ponder on that for the week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Mitch, you want to hit them up with those social media links?
I sure will. It's been a while, so forgive me if I mess this up. But you can find us on Facebook.com/SSG Podcast. We are on Twitter. I've lost our follower count, but it's well over 700 now. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening and following us. It means the absolute world to us. We're on Twitter at SSG_podcast. We try to respond to everyone that tweets at us, and we're pretty interactive on it. More so than the Facebook page, sadly. But yeah, I guess we'll step that game up.
I'll say this: if you comment on anything, if it's on Facebook, if it's Twitter, wherever, we'll respond back. You don't have to wait for us to say something. By all means.
Oh yeah. If you're listening to the podcast, I guess you know where to find it. But if you wanted an alternative resource, we are on pretty much every podcast service out there. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, even some smaller ones that I'm forgetting. I'm blanking on the name right now. I think Podbean.
No. It's Stitcher.
Stitcher. Okay.
And I think the TuneIn app.
TuneIn, okay. So we're also on YouTube. No video, only audio, but you can still listen to it while in the background. If you have YouTube Red, maybe you can still surf your phone and whatnot. But yeah, that's about it.
I would love to do a video version of the podcast.
Yeah, me too.
If our internets were to work out or something like that. Yeah, I don't think I think mine would be fine, but I worry about yours.
Thanks. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to do something with YouTube. I don't know. It takes a lot of effort.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, or we just won't. So, as always, thanks guys for listening so much. If you want to read any of the read about any of the stuff that we actually went over today, as I always say and always try to do, the links will be in the description. And we'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a good one.
Have a Mitchin' one.
Yeah, boy.